The second step of the cascade is to determine the origin and weight of the conflicting rules. After having cataloged all the rules and determining if there is any conflict, the browser examines where the rule came from and if it has increased weight. Rules can gain extra weight by using the important declaration. Here we have an example of that, and essentially it's just putting the exclamation point important keyword into any declaration that is deemed to need extra weight. Now, what this will do is it will make sure that the browser will use that style over all others. So essentially it's saying this is the most important, most specific declaration that you have. If you have multiple declarations with conflicting declaration values, you are also going to have something of a conflict. So the browser will end up determining what to do with that, and in that case, your user styles will always defeat author styles. Always. So what ends up happening is that the order of precedent is going to come into play to determine this order of importance. So what we have with our browser is a specific order that things are always going to rule over others. So starting with the most powerful, we end up having our user styles that have been declared important. So anything that the end user has set up in the user style sheets and labeled those as being important will always override every other declaration that we could have. And that's definitely a good thing from the end user standpoint, because if the end user needs font to be a specific size, then the end user can take those steps to control that. Next we have our author styles that are deemed important as well. So it's anything that I, as the HTML and CSS author, declares to be important. So again, that will override any conflicts other than those declared important by the user. Then any author styles, so we're looking at any other thing that I have set up in my CSS that is not deemed important. Then it looks at user styles. So any user style that's not deemed important will actually be overridden by anything that the author has set up. And lastly, it's going to look at the default styles. So those default styles are the things that the browser will set up on its own without any prompting. Generally, rules higher in this list override those that are lower. So as you can see, it kind of cascades down. Now, once it is completed, the analysis of where it came from and what the weight is, the cascade will move on to step number 3.